Good morning, dear friends. This is Lady Sylvia, and I'm back from South America. Actually, we came back last Friday. It took us a while to get used to the time difference, and I think we slept the whole day after we got back because we didn't sleep on the airplane. It was very uncomfortable. It's a long flight. I think it was over 10 hours. But anyway, we flew, I think we flew first to Buenos Aires, Argentina, and it was incredible. I was very afraid. I've traveled to Europe, and I've traveled to the Caribbean and Mexico, but I was told a lot of really bad things about South America, so I was very apprehensive. And I was told, especially in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, not to wear any jewelry at all. And they also will rob your iPhone if they see one that's newer. And needless to say, I was pretty scared. So I didn't wear anything. I didn't wear earrings, necklace, which is weird for me because I always have some jewelry on. But my jewelry is very precious to me, so that got locked up. I think the only thing I had on was a plain silver band on my wedding finger. I really was, trying to be cautious. And so it was a really incredible, I'll tell you, Argentina is, it's a land of very dramatic wealth. The landowners and the farmers, I guess the cattlemen. By the way, these people, oh my God, in South America, in Brazil, everywhere, they eat so much beef. Oh God, I don't eat that anymore. I can't eat it. It's like, since I've been on Ozempic, I've lost 25 pounds, and I really can't eat. I find it difficult to eat beef, but everywhere you go, it's like they call it parrilla, and it's like barbecue. These people love their barbecue, and so I was trying to do mostly fish and chicken, like just small pieces of chicken and fish. And by the way, I didn't gain any weight. I was so happy because, we did board the cruise boat in Buenos Aires after 2 days. So we spent Easter in Buenos Aires. And I have to tell you, everyone at the hotel, they were very kind. They see you walking with a cane. I got out of the taxi and they grab you and try to help you up the stairs. It was like they were very, very, very kind. I noticed that right away. In the hotel we were at, I have to say it was an elegant and wonderful place, but I've been in the Ritz-Carlton in America, and they were never as nice as these people were. And I can tell you they were really, really kind. And also, they give deference to people who are disabled. So, like, I'll show you some pictures. When we went to see Christ the Redeemer, they have like massive lines of people waiting to get into the elevators or up the escalators. And when they see you with a cane or wheelchair, boom, they grab you and bring you to the front of the line. It was very, very kind. It was amazing. But so we're here in Argentina, and it was Easter weekend, and so we're like thinking, what do we do? What do we do? Where do we go? Oh my God, it was like trying to figure out where to go. We had to like look up some things. We talked to the concierge. So we did go to a tango show, and I'll show you a picture. I took video, but I can't do that. These are printed out by my husband from my camera. I mean, let me tell you that tango is pretty sexy. These guys really look like they're ready to make love. It was absolutely, these women are so talented. I mean, talk about kick your leg way past your head. I'm amazed. It was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. So tango started actually in the brothels of Argentina in the 1920s. And one of the tango's greatest artists was a guy named Carlos Gardel. And he died in a plane accident when he was only 44, I think. And a lot of his musicians died in that plane accident. But his music lives on, and it is wonderful. It's really, really beautiful. So this is me. I'm going to be 68, April 29th. But my husband took this picture of me, and I don't look too bad for an old lady. I actually bought the scarf and the blouse at Chico's, and I was really happy that I could fit into Chico's again because I kind of gained too much weight. But having lost that weight, I'm really happy. But anyway, so we went to this. Okay, so Saturday is Easter Saturday, and in Brazil, they're very Catholic. I mean, very. So we went to this place called Tierra Santa, which means Holy Land. And it's like a Disneyland, but it's all based on the Bible. It was pretty amazing. So there's these live actors dressed as Roman soldiers, Pontius Pilate, a guy, this really looked real. And they go through the whole crucifixion thing, and it was boiling hot. And I actually thought I was going to pass out because there wasn't a lot of shade. And I'm not used to this kind of, it's hot here, but we're talking really hot. I was pouring water. My sun hat was just completely wet. And but it was beautiful. It was very emotional. A lot of people were praying, and it was really beautiful. But finally, I had to tell my husband, we have to go because I'm going to pass out. I'm really going to pass out. So one of the other things we did was we went to a place called a very famous cemetery there called Recoleta, and Recoleta is not big as far as like some of the cemeteries in America, New York or in California, like Forest Lawn. This place has like the most. It's also called the Cemetery of the Angels. Some of the angel statues were so beautiful, and I love angels. So we went, and again, it was super hot. They were very kind. They got me to the front of the line, and we bought our tickets, and very foolishly, I did not bring water. I think it's 14 acres, and they're very close. The mausoleums are all very close together. But again, when I left there, I think I drank 2 16-ounce bottles of water, one after another. It was that kind of hot. But I want to show you, there's like beautiful statues commemorating soldiers from the fight for different independence and stuff. But it's beautiful how the angel is like victorious, and the guy is some kind of soldier. She's taken him to heaven. It's really beautiful. And then this, oh my God, I wish you could see this in person. It was huge. This is all mosaic tiles in somebody's tomb. It was huge, and it was so beautiful. You can't imagine. Unbelievable. So Recoleta is like, there aren't poor people buried there because it's like mostly the wealthy, the landowners, the war heroes, the mayors, they're called alcaldes, the famous people of Argentina are buried there. And you have to maintain your mausoleum. If they don't, they evict you. Kind of weird. But look at some of these. These are like Roman style. It's hard to believe. These are so huge. I couldn't get all of it in the frame, but it was absolutely amazing. And the stained glass, oh my God, unbelievable. Here's an angel victorious. There was a lot of sad stories too. Oh God, there were some very, very sad stories. But look at the beautiful bronze work on the doors. It was really. Now this is Evita Peron. Her family is the Duarte family. So every day there's fresh flowers at her tomb. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a story about this woman. So she and her husband, I think, rose to power in the 50s, around the time I was born. And so she really kind of championed the working class and the underprivileged. She supported workers' unions, and you would think, okay, that's cool. kind of socialist, but, to support the poor and the working class was something no one did. So anyways, so she and her husband, were ruling there for, I don't know, a couple of years or whatever. She was a great hero to the common people. And then she got cervical or ovarian cancer, and she died around 44, 45. So, the rich really kind of hated her. And so when she died, somebody kidnapped her body, and they moved it to Spain, I think, and then to Italy. She was buried in a tomb under another name, Maria something, Maggi or something. Anyway, they found her, and they brought her back 14 years after she died to this tomb, and they buried her. I think she's buried under like 16 feet of concrete underneath to prevent anyone from stealing her body again. And these are all bronze markers commemorating, family and friends, and anyone can pay for one of these bronze memorials. And I'll show you, I think, here's a close-up. And they used to call her name is Eva Perón, but they call her Evita. And there's a bronze picture of her. And these are all dedications of love to her. And of course, the musical Evita is based on her life. So it's, there was still, oh my God, there was crowds and crowds of people. I had to wait to take a picture. And then here is, look at this Art Nouveau in concrete. Can you believe this? This is it's either, I think it's marble or concrete. It's unbelievable. Look at the irises. Talk about Art Nouveau. Oh my God, what a sad story. This girl, I think her name was Rufina. So she's like, 21 or something, and I guess she might have lapsed into a coma, and so they buried her. They did the last rites. And then the next day, the caretaker noticed that somebody had messed with her casket. It was moved. So he opened the casket, and she was in there all bloodied, and the casket top was all scratched up. So she had woken up, and she had a heart attack and died trying to get out of her casket. Can you imagine the horror? Oh my God, that was really horrible, sad story. And then this one, oh Lord, have mercy. This is such a sad story. This poor girl with her dog, she was only also in her 20s. She was in Switzerland, I guess on a honeymoon, that's what they told us, on a honeymoon, and she died in an avalanche on her honeymoon. So her family, that's a image of her wedding gown. And I guess her dog died too. Oh, God almighty. It was so sad. It was really, but they're beautiful memorials. And I just look at this beautiful sleeping angel. Really beautiful. I can't even tell you. I could have showed you hundreds and hundreds of pictures, but I just don't want to bore you with that. But it was really amazing. So, then we went to, I think the next day was going to Montevideo in Uruguay. And Uruguay, oh boy, is a whole another thing in itself. Uruguay, it's lovely. We went to a place called Montevideo. Let me see, I have some pictures. It's like they call it the Dubai of, it's really beautiful. So, okay. So this is a picture I took of the sun rising from my cruise boat. So, Montevideo is like, the in place to go for even Argentinians and Brazilians. They go there for the beaches and stuff. Well, it's pretty developed because they've got, they call it the Dubai of South America. Look at all these tall buildings. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I thought maybe it was a beach, you'd just see, some huts or something. Nope, look at these giant, they were everywhere. The whole, this is like super mega rich that built all these high rises, and then they rent them out in the summer, and you could rent an apartment. I mean, you have to be really wealthy to do this. And it's not like, they have if you make over $1,000, they tax you 50%, and There's some weird shit going on with these people. I mean, another thing I found really weird. Okay, so Pope Paul II did a mass underneath this cross. This is in the middle of this place in Uruguay. So these people talk about, I mean, I thought it was very weird. They outlawed any images of religion, any images in the public, unless you're a church. I thought it was very weird. Okay, so, like you cannot display, a Madonna statue in your house, nothing. I mean, they take socialism to another level. But they left this because, the people wanted it. And there's a statue of Pope Paul underneath it. But, the tour bus was moving really fast, so I took a quick picture. But that's it. That's it. That's the only thing public other than in a church. So, kind of weird to me. So then, we went to, now we're in Brazil, and I have to tell you, Rio, oh, Jesus. Oh, God, the level of poverty. You go through these places, and I'm not even talking about, there's these houses built up on the mountain called favelas, and they are like worse ghettos. I mean, I grew up in a ghetto, so I know poverty. But I mean, this is really bad, super, super, oh God, really horrible. And the tour bus was leaving when they picked us up. I mean, we saw people, the graffiti everywhere. No respect. I mean, I even saw graffiti on the statues by a church. This is in Brazil. Now we're in Brazil. Oh my God. It was very tough to see some of the levels of poverty, and you leave that. It's like really weird because you're driving along and it's ghetto. I mean, graffiti all the way up to the tops of buildings. It's kind of disgusting. And then all of a sudden, boom, you reach this like green park, and you could see this is where the wealthy live. No graffiti, more police. I didn't see any police down in the ghetto part. And then suddenly you're heading towards where they have the beaches in Copacabana. Oh shit, I just turned off my, my lamp. Okay, so Copacabana, I mean, this is like how there's graffiti, but at least this is art, There's a giant portrait of Iris Apfel. She just died, she was 103. And these are like, I don't know what this is, a map or something. And then there's like this giant painting of the world and all these, I don't know what's written on there. There was you have to have your wits about you because there is a lot of crime and pickpockets, and pickpocketing is very common there. So you have to be really careful. But the bus took us to some beautiful islands and places that I'm truly grateful that I got to see, because I love nature and I love beautiful things. So beautiful plants. I think this is some kind of ginger. It's absolutely beautiful. And this waterfall, okay, this island, I think it's called Isabela, which is beautiful island. And it's got like 365 waterfalls. And, it's just magnificent. There's orchids everywhere. Oh boy, my favorite fruit, papaya. That one's ready to go. Boy, I wish my cane was big enough so I could have tapped that one and knock it out. But that's how papaya grows. It's so good. And I learned to love them in Hawaii because they cut them open, you scoop out the seeds, and then you squeeze a lime on them. Oh my God, it's heaven. I don't know if you ever tried one, but it's really delicious. But there were these little birds, and I call them God's jewels because there's no jewel on this planet that is more beautiful than these living creatures. It was shocking. These are members of the Taninger family. I had to look that up because I never saw anything so beautiful. And they feed them fruit, watermelon, banana, and I'll show you. Oh, this is one of the islands. Oh my God, how beautiful. These huge trees grow right in the sand, and the people have a restaurant right there, so you can eat under and get some shade, but it was really, really beautiful. But here's another waterfall picture. And of course, it's a rainforest, so there's like boatloads of mosquitoes, but we brought mosquito repellent, that off stuff. And we sprayed it every day on our feet, our ankle, anything exposed. We were covered, but I can't tell you how funny. So many of the tourists were covered in mosquito bites because they didn't bring anything. And so we were lucky that we did that. So anyway, I pulled these photographs. Okay, look at this fellow. This is one of the ones we saw. So he is, I think, a paradise tanager. Look how beautiful he is. What the hell? This is so magnificent. I was so emotional. I couldn't believe my eyes. And then this guy here, he's called a gilt-headed tanager. And we saw him everywhere. They were so beautiful. Your mouth just falls open. And the song they sing is so beautiful. And so we were walking around in a botanical park, and it began to rain. That's okay, because I brought umbrellas, and so we're standing there with umbrellas. And all of a sudden, these little creatures come out of the rainforest, and they're walking around, and I said to my husband, holy crap, that's an agouti. And I mean, I know it because, as a kid, I was one of those kids that I was very lonely, so I spent all my time in the library looking at, Encyclopedia Britannica and stuff. I know stuff because it just, I don't know, it sticks in my brain. But I knew what the hell that was, and I said, oh my God, it's an agouti. And then boom, boom, boom. There was like 7 of them. They're very shy. My husband caught some pictures of them, but I couldn't, they were really fast. When they saw me approach, they were like, zoop, back into the forest. But I wanted to show you, this is what they look like. They have long, spindly legs, really no tail. They have a little tail, but not, they are a member of the rodent family. But they are so freaking cute. Oh my God. They're so adorable. And they were like, zip, zip. We saw like 7 of them. And then, okay, so now we get to, this is incredible. So to get to Sugarloaf Mountain, that's how it looks on a clear day. You have to take 2 of these cable cars. One goes to the mountain below. No, one goes to Sugarloaf, and then there's another higher mountain above. Oh my God, it was so scary. I'm not good with heights. So see, we're like climbing. There's the town down there, and we're going way up. Oh my God, it was so scary. But it was beautiful. And you could see the clouds. We're above the clouds. It was, I mean, clouds are a blessing, because let me tell you something. When it was that hot, when the clouds blew past you, it like chilled you down. It was such a blessing. It was so nice. So look, there's the bay, and that's the Atlantic Ocean beyond. This is, I think Copacabana's back that way. But it was, oh my God, so exciting. So look at this, like some kind of racetrack or something. And then all the mountains and the city down below. So we had to take 2 elevators and 2 escalators to get to Christ the Redeemer. And it was incredible. Look at all the crowds. I told my husband, stay by my side, don't get lost, because naturally there's pickpockets everywhere, but it was so crowded, I didn't want to lose him, and you could easily lose each other. Look at that. So it was built in 1929. I think it is listed as one of the 7 wonders of the world. It sits at the top of this mountain, way above the clouds. The clouds are down below. It was, and believe it or not, underneath here, we were walking around, and there was this church service. There is an actual church underneath the statue. So then, and that was really emotional. It was very beautiful. I mean, there was lots of lovely beaches, beaches that we went to on the tour. I just took pictures because I wasn't going to go down there. I'm not a beachy person. I'm not, you know, I mean, I'm not interested in skin cancer. So, but Copacabana, so we get to this Hilton on Copacabana. It took us 2 hours to check in. That's Copacabana Beach with the city beyond. That's the other side. This is from our hotel room. So, okay, we had a good view from our hotel room, but the hotel room sucked. It was supposed to be a suite, and it had a king-size bed, no, a queen-size bed, but no other furniture, nothing. It was like, and a dated old bathroom. I'm really, really pissed off. I'm not going to leave them very good reviews. So this is taken from our hotel room. So there's a lot of mountains. The weird thing about Brazil is that there are like mountains that they're everywhere. They come out of all over the, every island looks volcanic, you know, kind of like in Tahiti, but times 10. They're everywhere. And these blue morpho butterflies were all over in the rainforest. That was really beautiful. So they painted a painting of one on a, I don't know what this is, but it's conserved nature. Oh, and that's another thing. In Brazil, they speak Portuguese. I speak Spanish. So it was like, blah, 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 I don't know what the hell I'm saying or what you're saying. So, but it was, you know, okay, you make do, you know. That was difficult because everybody speaks Portuguese. So, and I want to give a shout out to a guy named Jason Adams. I watched his videos when I was on the cruise boat. It was, you know, I didn't partake of a lot of things because I can't walk very well and because of my knees are bad and stuff. So I watched videos instead, and I watched his Moonstone video, which really was wonderful. And so when I was in, I think it was in Búzios, which is an island in Brazil, I found some moonstone earrings and I bought them. They're in sterling silver, and they're really nice. They're not any big deal, but look at the shine. So I bought those. And then, you know, you guys watch my jewelry videos. So these are the old, I learned a lot from him about amethyst. So I bought this, 20-something years ago on HSN, and this came from Brazil, but look how pale that is. And this is an old 1920s piece that needs repair. But look at that, and then look at this. I found this, and Brazil is famous for their amethyst. So now look at this dark little guy. And I love this guy. He's really beautiful and dark. And I learned a lot from Jason, and so I give him a lot of props. Boy, I don't know. I learned so much, and it's beautiful. It's set in sterling. But look how much darker it is. So, boy, what a sucker I was back then. But I learned, and so I got this beautiful dark guy. I think he's very beautiful. And I will always remember Brazil with my one piece of amethyst. So I made this before I left. I posted it on Facebook, and I call it my spring summer necklace. It's got hundreds of flowers that I hand sewed, and then it ends in these vintage lucite flowers. And I already sold, before I even left, I sold like 2 of them. And then I had other requests. I think I'm up to 4 that I'm selling. Oh my Lord. I'm happy because, hey, you know, I could use the money. But I made this one for me. And I bought this antique cameo from Anna, Vintage Jewelry Galore. She's a good friend of mine. But I wanted to do something with it because I think, you know, to me, she represents Flora, the goddess of flowers. So there's flowers here, flowers there. So I did this necklace for myself. And let me show you. It's a little shorter than the other one I made, but I thought it was a nice way to use an old vintage cameo. And then I made myself some earrings. And I just used these little cones. You know, you learn all these things. You know, I've been doing this 20-something years. But anyway, there's like there's like hundreds of, and I even put a few ladybugs and some what do you call it, butterflies. Let me lift my lamp up, see? And it's got my tag, Lady Sylvia. And leaves and all manner of different types of flowers. And so I made that for myself because, you know, I already had orders even before I left for South America. So as soon as I came home and I, you know, slept for an entire day, the next day I started sewing. So, but anyway, my friends, I missed you all. And I wanted to just share with you, you know how I do. And I just thought you guys would be interested in seeing my travels. Anyway, I love you and thanks for watching and God bless you all. And I'm glad to be home. I love the United States of America. Whew, boy, oh boy. So take care and I'll be back. And I have some other things I'll tell you about. Take care. Bye-bye.